Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Hope all is well and everyone's getting on with it and being positive. I just wanted to say it's quite tragic, really, that when you put out material that is very, very important for people to watch and share, doesn't get shared or doesn't get viewed. It's not a moan. It's just what sells now. It's the beauty. It's all the craziness, but seriousness stuff. Obviously, people get bored of. But as I explained to my own child, that it's not about likes, it's not about shares, it's not about subscribers. It's about getting your voice across. It's about sharing the content, the things that are in the media that could have a profound impact on one's life. The one thing that we've learned from this tragedy of this young actor is the fact that people are taking mental health issues in India very, very seriously. It's all over the social media. It's all over, Insta and Twitter and everything, especially for the Asian community, because, as I said, it's a taboo, and everyone's raising the awareness that, if people stop this thing that you can't talk to someone, or men can't talk, or men can't weep, or men have got issues, then we wouldn't have such a high case of male suicide in the world. And they've also hit upon the fact that it is prevalent in the Asian community, because it's the way we brought up. We brought up under pressure, and our parents obviously try their best, and they want us to succeed, and they carve this career out for us, this choice for us, because as children we don't know what we want, to be quite honest. Okay, unless we're not given the guidance and the support to go down a particular route, you don't want to learn, you don't really want to work really hard. So parents do carve that, and no matter what parents do, subhanAllah, they're always wrong, aren't they? Because you have one end of the spectrum where you have someone like Will Smith, a renowned, he went through his little dips and whatever, he learnt from it, brought up his kids, and is giving his kids that much of freedom that themselves are kind of like all over the place. They don't know what gender to follow, they don't know what sexuality to follow, they don't even know what's going on, because they have too much too soon, and they don't have the structure and the routine. And no matter how many kids in our class would love to have golden time, you watch golden time in class, it's chaotic, and you give them practical lessons, they don't know what to do with themselves, because they like the guidance, they like the structure, they do, even if they don't really want it, but actually that's how we are conditioned. And and then you have the other spectrum, or the other flip of the side of the coin, where you have all the someone taking those decisions for you to shape your life so you can follow a career, and then you're still wrong because children goes, well, I never had a childhood because I didn't have a choice of what I wanted to do. So as parents, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, And the other thing we've learned from this tragedy, that is like everywhere on social media, is that it doesn't matter how rich and famous or gorgeous you look. If you're not happy within yourself, it doesn't really matter. And I know from yesterday that I had some images, my memories, as Facebook does, that I had pictures of my mum. I'd pop up our last summer Eid, I think, visit to Woburn Safari Park here in the UK, and it crushed my soul. I was in tears the whole day. I was so down. So it brings up another thing, actually. When you're down and you put on songs and you come across things, actually there's so much tragedy. If you're on TikTok, there's a lot of tragedy. And when I'm really happy and I do TikToks where I'm singing, like miming or whatever, the likes you get is like 14, right? The following you get is men. And I changed my TikTok outlook, so I no longer have me on the forefront. I have images and I have pictures that represent my emotions at that time, and they are dark. I was watching them yesterday and I was thinking, dark. And you know what? Each one gets about 200 likes. And I have got a huge female following. Like, I would say about 8,000 likes and about 1,000 female following since I've started that different step. And I know that every time I put on something positive, people don't want to hear. So isn't that in itself is tragic, isn't it? And I was looking at people's videos, I was comparing. My son goes, Mum, you should follow the trends. I'm not a trendsetter. I don't follow trends. I don't follow, I'm not a follower. I'm a leader. I'm not a follower. I don't follow anything in my life. I don't. Hard routes I might take and challenging that it may be, I don't follow. So we were just having this conversation, and he was going, Mum, you've got in 3 minutes you put up a positive TikTok up, and it's got just 2 likes, right? Because look at this one. There's a girl, obviously, it's sexism, isn't it? Not sexualized. You've got a young girl doing absolute God knows what within 3-4 seconds and got millions of likes. And the question is why? The question is, and I'm trying to explain to my son, it's actually perverse, because it's that youth that is someone looks at. It is that wearing a vest and everything's just sort of hanging out. It's being sexualized, and it's being it's a form of exploitation, to be quite honest. When people say to me, don't this is why I stopped it, don't put you're doing it as a therapy and you do it because you like it, but when you put it on public, people might look at something completely different things, that as innocent as you might be, just with your face, it's just the way maybe your eyes move or your lips move or whatever, that people it's a food for thought, isn't it? And I was saying to my son, it's not about how many likes you get, because if you do it for likes, you do it for subscribers, you do it for this, and if you don't get them, does it not impact your soul? So those people who are not strong within themselves, those people who follow, those people who seek recognition of others, and those people who do things for others to seek their approval, it is those who fall flat on their face. And I was really, I think it's probably the worst I've felt in a long time. So, one upon another, there were TikToks of which really, really real sad songs. And I know I just create some TikToks with my mum because that's how I felt. And I was even worse day. I was in a worse day. And the worst thing was that I'm there for everybody. I've always been like that, I was there for everybody, and nobody, those who knew I was upset watching my status, or who asked me how I was in a toilet, there was nobody there to pick me up. Not in a way that I would with them. And then in reflection, I thought, there's no one in your life you can rely on except yourself. There's no one who's going to pick you up apart from yourself. There's no one who's going to stand up for you except yourself. So willpower comes from within. And if you have that growth mindset, if you come out of that fixed mindset where you are a pessimist and you feel like nobody loves me, nobody cares, it's going to go down, which is, to a degree, it's where I'm moving away from. And what my parents' death has taught me, because you're not an orphan until you lose the rest of your family, the rest of the kinship. I mean, you come from a huge family. We're Asians, we come from a huge family, yet you are all by yourself. That's when you're orphaned. And it is that figurative part of it, isn't it? That metaphoric part of the message, that you're an orphan when your parents die, but you're more of an orphan when you are totally alone. Now I have a friend who feels like an orphan because he or she hasn't got that relationship with his family, his or her family. So it's actually it's those sort of things. And what this tragedy has taught me is that we need to surround ourselves by positive things. We need to stop putting that negative stuff, and we need to start being more positive. We need to be there for each other. We need to support each other. If someone doesn't talk to you, just be in their face, and just be there. Don't have to, what happened to you? Well, you can talk to people. People don't want to talk to you, but be there in their present. But then again, at the same time, for those who are weakened in their own soul, no matter what you do for them, no matter what you say, no matter what happens, when that person gives up, that person has given up. And there's nothing you can do. And I believe in the broken heart syndrome. I do. I watched my mum, who gave up, and when she gave up, she went down. And no matter what we did, how we did it, that's what I've learned. So try not to give up, because where there's a will, there is a way. There's always a way.